8:30.
They see the need in the devastation of Central America.
Over 2 million people in Honduras and just under 1 million people in Nicaragua are left with almost nothing.
In the deprived children of Haiti.
To see that 1,500 to 2,000 children were fed.
In the overwhelmed hospitals of China.
So much need, so little knowledge, so little equipment.
And they respond, New England's unofficial ambassadors. Marion Austin knew what she didn't want to do in retirement.
When are you going to just sit around?
What she did do was turn around the lives of hundreds of youngsters.
She's got a heart that's bigger than life.
And she's not alone. Meet some people who are thinking and acting globally.
You don't realize what the rest of the world is like.
Ambassadors, next on Chronicle.
I really didn't want to, after retiring, I didn't know what I was going to do. I wasn't going to just sit around.
Marion Austin was 67 when she retired as a nutritionist with the U.S. Army at Fort Devens. She wondered what to do next.
It's always with these ladies, let's go to lunch. And everybody gets as big as the house, you know, go to lunch, let's go to lunch. So I said, no, I didn't want to do that.
A granddaughter, a friend, and her clergyman had an answer from Marion Austin. Paul Borthwick was a missions pastor at Grace Chapel in Lexington.
I challenged her and a lot of senior people at our church to think about the example of Old Testament Abraham, who was called out by God when he was 75 years old. And what I said was, if you're under 75, then God might still want to call you to be a missionary.
Her granddaughter Amy, daughter of her son, the Channel 4 reporter Charles Austin, suggested Haiti, where Amy had done some mission work, as a place where Mrs. Austin was needed. A few months later, she was directing a massive feeding program for New England World Missions.
And that was my ministry, to see that 1,500 to 2,000 children were fed. And what we would do, we would make sauce, as the Haitians call sauce. And it would be everything we could think of to throw in that pot.
But Marion Austin saw another need in Haiti, a place to care for orphan children. Within a few short years, she had founded 2 orphanages and spearheaded a support group in Greater Boston to back her efforts and those of her Haitian co-workers.
It's supported by sponsors. People sponsor children at $25 per month.
And what does that money enable you to do?
We have beds for the children. They're not sleeping with each other or anything like that. They're getting 3 meals per day. Wherever I was before was 1 meal per day.
It takes money to support Marion Austin's many orphans. That's where the support group comes in. It's called Hope for the Children of Haiti Incorporated. Craig Miller serves on its board and has made many trips to Haiti himself with volunteers from Greater Boston churches.
Until you get out of this area called Eastern Massachusetts, you don't realize what the rest of the world is like. And when you go to a place like Haiti, you get a chance to see what the bulk of the rest of the world lives like.
The group is concentrating its efforts now on a single orphanage for 60 children in Port-au-Prince. It is named for Marion Austin, and when she and the volunteers arrive, there is much excitement.
She's got a heart that's is bigger than life, and she just loves the kids. As soon as we touch down, word travels through the countryside that Marion is here.
Hope for the Children of Haiti continues to bring work groups to the orphanage. Young people, married couples, teachers. They bring with them all the food and medicine they can pack, nearly 2 tons on one trip last July. The group helped install a badly needed generator donated by a church in Texas to cope with frequent power outages. They also helped build houses for homeless members of a Haitian church. Still, the group struggles to meet the needs of the orphans and is seeking help from concerned Bay Staters.
We only ask $25 a month, but it actually, we need 3 sponsors to break even on 1 child. So we actually need 39 new sponsors for these children.
The group is also launching a fundraising drive to help construct a new facility with an upgraded school, a medical and dental clinic, a trade school, and a business to sustain the children after high school.
There are so many more to be served, so many more. They're just walking the streets. looking in trash piles, trying to find something to eat.
Happy birthday to you.
Marion Austin recently celebrated her 80th birthday, surrounded by family and friends. Her former pastor, Paul Borthwick, sees her life as a powerful example to other retirees.
I tell people, you know, as long as God gives you years, listen to the example of Marion. God might want to use you.
You going back again?
If they need a leader.
You're going to keep at it.
Oh yeah, I'll keep at it. As long as I can, I'll be there.
Boy, talk about making good use of those senior
That's
years.
right,
It's an
that's
amazing story. They need sponsors.
They do need sponsors, Mary. In fact, there was a ferry disaster that you may have read about some months back down there. Hundreds of people died, and many orphans were the result of that. They took in a group of 13 new children for whom they do not have sponsors tonight. And if you want to help, there's a way to do it. You can write to the group, Hope for the Children of Haiti in Winchester, or you can call right now. There's somebody there to pick up the phone. If you're interested in sponsoring a child, a Haitian child, an orphan, you can dial 781-729-2818.
Still to come, the Hurricane Mitch mission after this.
Choices at a Chinese hospital.
How do you choose one out of those 10? Because the 9 that you don't choose are going to die.
Coming up next, New Englanders pitch in against Hurricane Mitch.
We've had people give what we needed most: medicine, food, clothing.
Is within your reach.
I'm afraid for my children. I don't know how I'm going to manage.
I'm afraid of what tomorrow might bring. I'm frightened of getting old.
I have this fear of facing life without my husband.
I'm afraid of other people.
Sometimes life is too much for me.
Sometimes I tremble like a baby for no reason.
I feel my life is completely out of control.
I don't know how I'm going to cope. I just can't go on.
I'm afraid. I'm just afraid.
Now there's a book that can help us cope with life's problems. It's called Power for Living. Yours free by calling this toll-free number. It can quiet the fears that consume so many of us by leading us toward a personal relationship with God. Call now for your free copy of Power for Living. No obligation, and no one will call.
Attraction has never been this obvious.
She's a pill.
Oh.
Or love this close without either person even knowing it. Tom Hanks, Meg Ryan, You've Got Mail. Rated PG. Now playing at a theater near you.
At Bank Boston, we hope you'll exercise a few minutes each day to reduce stress. I'm a banker, not a health expert, but it seems to me the time we put into reducing stress is a wise long-term investment.
You're watching Chronicle with Peter Mahegan, Mary Richardson, Liz Bruner, and Ted Reinstein. Chronicle, New England's nightly news magazine.
How generous and caring are we here in New England? Well, truthfully, it sometimes takes a crisis to open our eyes and our wallets. Hurricane Mitch did just that back in October.
And countless New Englanders are still responding to that disastrous storm with donations of money, medicine, and clothing. Ted Reinstein has the story.
So what do you like about living here?
For Anna Palma of Malden, the televised reports on Hurricane Mitch literally hit home.
Were you worried that maybe people in your family were killed?
Yes, we were like worried, but I couldn't get in touch with them. So after a week we did, but see, my mother didn't want to talk to me because she doesn't want to make me worry about anything else.
Fortunately, Anna lost no relatives to Hurricane Mitch, but her family's home in El Salvador was completely destroyed.
It's sad when you see that you work so hard to get this house and now you don't have a home.
They have nothing.
Nothing.
Over 2 million people in Honduras and just under 1 million people in Nicaragua are left with almost nothing.
Dr. Michael Collins, president of Boston's Caritas Christi Healthcare, joined a 5-person delegation touring Nicaragua and Honduras right after Hurricane Mitch left its horrific mark. Headed by Bernard Cardinal Law, the group was the first from Boston to witness the devastation.
Imagine if the Tobin Bridge, the Bourne Bridge, the Sagamore Bridge, Route 93 at 128, the Mass Pike at 495, and Route 24 at 495, if all of those interchanges were wiped out and we hadn't heard from the Berkshires yet. That was the situation we encountered when we landed on the ground in Central America.
The devastation is staggering. More than 9,000 dead in Honduras and Nicaragua, including 1,000 reportedly killed in a single mudslide. More than half of the farm crops wiped out. Hundreds of thousands left without electricity. The greatest single commodity everyone needs is clean, drinkable water. Some have gone without a drink for days in the hot sun. This has led to other problems.
Unfortunately, the need for thirst overcomes the dirtiness of the water. And so the people are consuming the dirty water. And as a result of that, they get a dysentery, diarrhea-like infection. And unfortunately, that dysentery and cholera is now present.
We can get this water down there. It can help alleviate the pain they're going through now until they can reestablish the infrastructure so that they have the water they need.
In a small warehouse in East Boston, operated by Team Air Express, Brian Connolly from Catholic Charities wrestles with the logistics of moving 110 tons of goods to Central America.
Tell me about some of the stuff you've got here that people have sent in.
Sure, we've had people give what we needed most: medicine, food, clothing, and they've really turned out amazing. You know, crutches, medicines, men's and women's clothing. Everything here are things that the people there no longer have.
The National Guard and a patchwork of local and regional businesses will make the shipment possible.
Who are the kinds of people that are donating things?
We've had donations from senior citizens who have said, I'm on a fixed income. I wish I could give more, but I don't have it, but I want to contribute. It's come from school groups, it's come from parishes, it's come from people all over Boston who said, I may not have a personal tie to Central America, but I want to help.
The governments of Central America are young and fragile democracies. Historically, the people have eyed government relief efforts with suspicion. So, in this catastrophic environment, officials in Honduras and Nicaragua have called on the one institution which holds the trust of most citizens, the Roman Catholic Church.
The church has been asked to play the role of becoming the entity which will actually be responsible for providing food and medicine and infrastructure support to the people.
There are, however, other religious and secular agencies contributing to this effort. At the Red Cross, disaster relief is a full-time business.
The relief effort is, in some ways, almost just beginning because the destruction was so widespread that it's been a very difficult situation to get in with any kind of relief.
When I was in Central America, one of the things that really impressed me was the children.
On this day, Dr. Collins accepts a check for $739.50 from a group of young donors at the Alston-Brighton YMCA.
One of the things that we told them was that the children of America would remember them, and the children of America would take care of them. And so what you guys did to have the car wash and to do the bake sale and all the other things you did to raise the money means so much to those children.
Closer to home, a woman who was touched by this tragedy carries on.
See, we believe in God, and my father said that God will provide everything, but you know, we also have to do something about these people, not just my family, but the others they are most affected by too, you know.
We keep the people in our prayers. We use whatever means we have to give some support to the people there, and we work together to give them hope, I think it would really be tremendous.
Well, people have responded, but boy, the need is still great there, Mary.
The need is still great. They estimate that it's going to take 25 years for those countries to fully recover from this, Peter. Just devastating. The Catholic parishes of Boston have so far donated over $1 million, $1.2 million in cash and $2 million in supplies, but there's still tremendous need. And if you'd like to make a donation, you can call either of these numbers. Catholic Charities at 617-482-5440, or the American Red Cross at 1-800-564-1234.
And still ahead, Boston doctors who make house calls overseas. Tomorrow on Chronicle, what every patient should know about surgery. Coming up next, victims of the Cultural Revolution.
A huge backlog of children who had not been operated on.
Second chances are rare. Life usually doesn't rewind. So when you get a chance to turn back time, grab it. Introducing Enamelon. Toothpaste technology so advanced, it helps undo the damage food does daily to enamel. Only Enamelon combines fluoride with liquid calcium to penetrate teeth, helping to rebuild enamel even stronger. Help undo the damage and rebuild enamel every day. New great-tasting Enamelon. A second chance for your teeth.
How do you define an exquisitely executed work of art? At E.B. Horn, it could be the Concord Veneto, 18-karat gold, hand-sculpted, hand-crafted, in unmistakable sense of luxury. From classic to cutting edge, E.B. Horn has that one extraordinary ornament for you or the one you love. When words won't do, E.B. Horn is there with a legacy of quality, service, and value.
With a healthy holiday tip, I'm Heather Kahn. Try to eat well during the holidays. Limit your caffeine, alcohol, and sugar intake. All three can increase stress. Happy holidays.
This Christmas, you'll fall in love with Mighty Joe Young.
You sang him to sleep last night like a baby.
It's the best family movie of the year.
He's gonna try and save him!
Disney's Mighty Joe Young, rated PG, starts this Friday.
Going on now, it's Macy's Perfect Gift Sale with dazzling jewelry selections for just $99. Diamond Heart Pendant, sale $99. Cultured Freshwater Pearl Set, sale $99. Ruby Heart Pendant, sale $99. Diamond Stud Earrings, sale $99. Semi-precious bracelets, your choice, $99. Incredible savings on jewelry. Macy's Perfect Gift Sale, going on now.
My doctor called me at 5 o'clock in the morning. He said, come right away. They had a lung there waiting for me.
This is an operation on a patient who has emphysema.
They wheeled me into a room and they put me on a metal table. And that's the last thing I remember. And when I woke up, what I had just done hit me like a ton of bricks.
Unfortunately, my transplant failed. And I'll have to go through this all over again.
Boston is known worldwide for its medical care, and people travel here from all over the world to take advantage of our hospitals and physicians.
And sometimes the process is reversed when doctors and nurses stretch the concept of house calls to mean traveling around the world to places in need. Liz Bruner explains.
On a normal day at Children's Hospital in Boston, Richard Jonas and Dottie McDonald can be found doing what they do best. As chief cardiac surgeon, Jonas prepares for surgery.
Hi, how are you? David, right?
While surgical nurse Dottie McDonald greets patients in her department, the cleft lip and palate program.
Not okay? Yep. Great.
Both are caregivers who dedicate themselves to improving the quality of life for their young patients, not only in Boston, but around the world. Here in China, the population is nearly 5 times that of the United States. It's estimated that more than 125,000 children are born each year with congenital heart disease.
China was in a unique position in that during the 60s, which was just the time when heart surgery was really developing, China shut down essentially all of its educational institutions because of the Cultural Revolution. So that when things were starting to open up again in the late 70s after the death of Mao Zedong, they really had very little information and very little equipment, and had a huge backlog of children who had not been operated on.
The need was urgent, and a project called HOPE was on the way.
The name Project HOPE comes from health opportunities for people everywhere, and the fundamental principle is that they teach health professionals how to take care of their own people.
In the 1980s, Project HOPE's efforts started in Shanghai. Dr. Jonas and a team of pediatric surgeons, nurses, and technicians were sent to save lives.
It was pretty formidable that there were so many kids there, so much need, so little knowledge, so little equipment.
The goal for the medical team from Boston? Teach Chinese surgeons, nurses, and technicians all about modern cardiac care. That was easy. What was difficult was the inevitable task of turning away children who were critically ill.
How do you choose between 10 different children, all of whom have a very serious heart problem, but only one can be operated on by the team during that visit? How do you choose one out of those 10? Because the 9 that you don't choose are going to die.
Dr. Jonas and his team would return to Shanghai every year for the next 11 years. And in spite of the devastating odds faced by these young patients, Dr. Jonas takes pride in remarkable progress.
When we first started going there, there were 7,000 or 8,000 children on the waiting list for that particular hospital. And the mortality rates for attempting to fix those problems approached 50%. Today, the waiting list has all but disappeared, and the mortality rates are similar to the mortality rates that we have here, which is only 2 or 3%.
Perhaps even more remarkable, the opening of the new Shanghai Children's Medical Center last summer with 250 beds. From the bustling city of Shanghai to a poverty-stricken province in Vietnam, this is where Children's Hospital surgical nurse Dottie McDonald is giving her time and expertise as a member of the relief organization Operation Smile.
Quite honestly, it was for the adventure. And secondly, I felt that I had a lot to offer any medical team that went to another country in the care of these children.
These children were born with facial deformities, many with cleft lips and palates, a birth defect that can be corrected. Dottie and the rest of the surgeons and nurses are giving these children a new smile.
We saw a lot of children from age newborn all the way up to 25 who did not have their cleft lips repaired, and they were coming to us for the first time to have this done. And there would be upwards to 300-400 people that would show up for the screening.
Of the 350 people screened, 165 surgeries were performed, and that was in a week's time.
Even the ones that weren't chosen would show up every day at the hospital saying, "Please take me, please take me." It was absolutely heartbreaking.
But for the young patients that Dottie and her team were able to help, the feeling was heartwarming.
The happiness of these people, the gratefulness, you know, to maybe make a small difference in someone else's life.
The way you wear your hat, the way you sip your tea, the memory of all the...
Breast cancer takes women away from their families far too soon. But with early detection through mammograms, you and your loved ones don't have to be victims. Call today. You may qualify for a free mammogram. Care enough to care for yourself. Call now.
I've been very good this year.
I worked hard and I helped around the house.
So I wanted a digital camera.
A 400 megahertz computer. DSS with 1 billion sports channels.
and a big screen TV. So what do you think?
The latest toys for big girls and boys. Best Buy. Now that's a great gift idea.
We've been really, really good this year. Just ask our kids.
I depend on my Explorer. I sit up higher. I'm in control. Four-wheel drive, automatic, power everything. It's loaded.
Need another reason? It's the final days of truck season. Now drive the #1 selling Ford Explorer for only $299 a month. That's just $299 a month on a built Ford Tough Explorer, fully loaded with 4x4 power, automatic transmission, CD player, and more. Truck season ends soon, and that's a great reason to see your New England Ford dealer.
Tomorrow on Chronicle, Donna Kennedy needs to have her gallbladder removed. But first, she needs information about her doctor, about the procedure, about the risks and the recovery period. Follow Donna on her journey through the medical system as Chronicle learns what every patient should know before going under the knife. A Health Beat special tomorrow.
That's Chronicle for tonight. Coming up, a check on tonight's lottery number.
And stay with us at 8:30 tonight for Last Call, a Health Beat project special on alcohol abuse and its treatment. Thanks for joining us. I'm Peter Mahegan.
And I'm Mary Richardson. Have a good night.
Good night.
Hi everyone, I'm Lois Holcomb. Well, catch the Health Beat Project special Last Call tonight at 8:30. And at 10, Barbara Walters presents the 10 most fascinating people of 1998. And I'll be right back with the results of the Daily Numbers game.
We've expanded Circuit City's computer department. Now it's easy to get everything you need for your PC in one place. The latest systems and peripherals, plus more than 2,000 software titles. And of course, you always get our low price guarantee.
Check out the new computer department at Circuit City. It's doubled in size, so you'll find low prices on more software, memory upgrades, computer speakers, joysticks, modems, and more. Get this SIG 2MB MPEG video card for just $9.99 after $20 rebate. Plug into low prices at Circuit City.